So, before I was born, my father was in the army. Uh, and as I was growing up, I was kind of pushed to join the military when I grew up. I was always very resistant to that. I didn't want to be like my dad, I didn't want to follow what he did. Um, and I kind of resented having those expectations thrust on me and being forced into that role. Um, then over the years, I was very much an experience seeker, and I went out in the world and tried to make it on my own uh, with a lot of big dreams, big ideas, and little else. I ended up homeless, chronically homeless, according to a psychiatrist who was seeing me for a while. Um, and like I said, I made a lot of bad decisions. I lived a really rough life for a long time. And ultimately, I ended up back at home with my father and back in a pretty rural area that always made me feel really boxed in and isolated. And I was desperate to get out, but I wound up back here. So when I was 27, I kind of had, I want to say second thoughts because it's not like I was suddenly passionate about joining the military or anything. I wasn't especially patriotic or anti patriotic, neither really. And over time, I've just felt less and less identified with my country, I guess. Uh, and maybe that's the individualization of our culture, but I don't really know. Um, but yeah, I decided that I would try to enlist. I got a hold of a recruiter. Um, he took me in. I was too anxious. They had a really hard time getting me to calm down to get my blood pressure normal because they were kind of doing a faux lie detector test, and I couldn't even answer my own name right. Um, and I don't know. And they gave me the ASVAB, which is a vocational test, and I scored 90th percentile on that, so higher than 90% of the people who take it, um, which was a little bit of an ego stroke. The recruiter said with those scores that I could do anything that I wanted with them. Um, but then when I got to the MEPS, I was doing the physical, and I was struggling with it. It was a few years after I got hit by a car, uh, and so I was struggling with that a little bit. But I got through it. I made it through. Ultimately, I failed because I couldn't pass the vision or the hearing tests. Um, and I mean, it was a little bit of a letdown because it felt like I wasn't fit, and so it kind of knocked me down a good bit. But at the same time, I was a little bit relieved. Um, uh, Not just because I was scared shitless about the idea that I might have to jump out of a helicopter or an airplane or something like that, but also because it wasn't a good alignment for me. I'd always considered myself a conscientious objector, um, and I don't know. It was a lot of it was having to do with living on other people's terms, not living on my own terms, uh, not living through my own attention, to go through a program and come out and just be what I was told to be and do what I was told to do and think what I was told to think, and I mean, rule number one, nobody can tell you who you are. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it. I think there is something to be said about seizing opportunities while they're fresh. If I had taken this opportunity when I was coming out of high school instead of going to college, I would have not racked up student debt on college and then dropped out. I wouldn't have ended up homeless. I wouldn't have ended up being a felon. I probably wouldn't have done a lot of things. But but it is what it is, you know. Uh, I would have had to compromise who who I was and my values and what I think is worthwhile to impose somebody else's values and their ideals on anybody wherever I'm directed. And I mean, for what? Adventure, money, status. It it I don't know. I don't regret it. To this day, I'm happy that they didn't take me. Um, but I guess I wish I could figure out what I do want to do. But I don't know. I was just thinking about this a little bit. I don't know if there's anything that you can take away. I might have said something that you know that you can relate to or resonate with. Uh, but yeah, no, I just figured I'd tell the story. Like I said, sometimes things unfold the way they do for a reason, and you you just gotta trust that you're where you need to be, and that you have you have everything you need to accomplish your purpose in this world. Bye.